Welcome back, drivers. This is Tandra with TS Hill Logistics. Before we get started, I want to say this clearly. This conversation is about your mental health because what's happening in trucking right now isn't just financial pressure. It's chronic stress, burnout, anxiety, and feeling like no matter how hard you work, you're still falling behind. And that's not an accident. For a long time, truckers have been told that the problem in this industry is caused by other drivers, different backgrounds, different situations, different paths into trucking. But blaming each other is a distraction. And today I want to explain what I've recently learned about what's actually happening, why it affects your mental health so deeply, and what history tells us about the only real way forward. Back in the 1960s and 70s, trucking was heavily regulated. There were limits on routes, pricing, and competition. Unions were strong, pay was stable, and a single driving job could support a family. In real terms, truck drivers were making the equivalent of well over six figures today. Then everything changed in 1980 when the Motor Carrier Act deregulated the industry. Overnight, it became easier to start a trucking company, competition exploded, rate protections disappeared, union power collapsed. On paper, deregulation was sold as efficiency. In reality, it shifted power upward. Here's what that meant in practice. Shippers gained leverage, brokers gained leverage, financing and insurance costs rose, and drivers were forced into a race to the bottom. Rates dropped, margins sank, working hours increased. That pressure didn't just hit paychecks, it hit mental health. Because when you work longer hours for less money, under constant uncertainty, your nervous system never gets to reset. That's not weakness, that's biology. When industries break down like this, history shows something constant happens. Instead of regulating the power players at the top, attention is redirected downwards. Workers are encouraged to blame each other. We saw this in manufacturing after deregulation. We saw it in coal. We saw it in steel. Workers fought workers. Wages kept falling. Burnout skyrocketed. And trucking is following the same exact pattern. This is not happening because you're not working hard enough. It's not because another driver took a load. It's not because you made the wrong move. The system was designed to extract more while giving less. When you internalize that pressure, it turns into chronic stress, anger, depression, emotional exhaustion. That's why so many drivers feel on edge all the time. History teaches us that individual hustle cannot fix a collective problem. Running harder doesn't restore bargaining power. Taking cheaper freight doesn't stabilize rates. Fighting each other doesn't improve conditions. The only thing that has ever shifted industries back towards stability is collective leverage. That means organization, collective bargaining, industry level standards. Burnout isn't just about long hours, it's about lack of control. When you feel trapped in a system where rates are unpredictable, costs keep rising, the rules change without you, your mind stays in survival mode. No amount of toughening up fixes that. But understanding the system does something powerful. It removes shame, it removes self blame, and it reminds you that your struggle makes sense. So if you're feeling burned out, overwhelmed, or exhausted, hear this: you're not the problem. You're responding to a broken system. And the first step to protect your mental health is refusing to turn that pressure inward or against other drivers. So for a call to action, start organizing locally. Start talking with other drivers at terminals, truck stops, and even online. And start to agree on some very basic things like a minimum rate pay and detention pay. And then partner with an established union, such as the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, to get legal guidance, protection, and bargaining power. Collective action is what turns individual drivers into leverage strong enough to push back against the race to the bottom. If this helped you see things a little more clearly, like the video, subscribe, and stay connected. We're going to keep talking about mental health, sustainability, and how drivers can protect themselves in a system that doesn't always protect them. You keep America running, and your wellness matters.